You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of All Good Things, the Star Trek Universe podcast here on BQN and the Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mark White, and with me today is Amy and Christos. Hey, guys. Welcome back.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Hey, Christos, you had a great week this week with What's the Tea, Bev?
I did, yeah. Had Sean Ferrick on, and it was a lot of fun recording this week's episode. So check it out if you haven't.
Yep, I finished it up today. I usually get to break it up because my commute is thankfully shorter than most podcasts. So I finished it up. Really fun, and I love listening to Sean's
I know
accent.
it was. I mean, all of the episodes have been fun, but this one is like there was a few times I forgot I was recording a podcast, like we were just talking, which ultimately, when I was finally figuring out what to do with that podcast, that's what I wanted, was to make it like two friends talking and just nerding out on Trek, and definitely felt that way because it just kind of ran long this week.
So in your podcast, you guys had mentioned about, I think, the Playmates toy sets at one point. You guys brought that up. And how Sean had mentioned that he never got the Goddard shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
I've got it. And it's filled with all of my figures, including a really cool Bev figure from the 90s.
Yay.
Anyway.
Yay.
Yeah. So I actually gotta get it from my parents' house. But I did see it last time I was home, so I'm gonna snag it next time I go back up.
It's very non-intrusive, though. It looks really nice on a shelf. And of all the, for 90s toys, it looks like the shuttlecraft on the series, so...
Oh, absolutely. And it makes noises and it lights up and you can fit a bunch of your figures in it, as I do. Like I shoved them in there. That's where I store them. Oh, Lord. Anyway.
Yeah, I think mine is the El Baz. I think that's what mine is.
Oh, I think you have the one from the Galoob series, the early on one. That's a rare one. That's rare, Amy.
Yeah.
You have to bring that to show and tell.
Yes.
Oh.
I gotta see this. Okay, show me pictures. Or post it in the group on Facebook or Twitter. We want to see. The audience wants to see it. Show us your shuttle.
Yeah, I post pictures because I keep everything in my classroom, and so every year when I put up my decorations, I post, here's my classroom. So yeah, I'll have to grab one that I posted earlier this year, probably in August. Have to zoom in and show it. I have data steering, driving the shuttle.
Question, Amy. You have the data from the 90s, right? The Playmates data?
I'm so bad with which brand is
does
what.
Your
but
data,
yes.
Does his chest open and stuff?
No. Just his knees and elbows.
My data, and this is the thing with the new data that they've come out with the Playmates. I don't understand why they did this. It's not as cool. But the data I have, his chest opens up and there's wiring. Then you can open up his head and there's wiring. And his arm, open it up and there's wiring. It's crazy.
Yes, I have seen that, but that's
that was
not
the original
one that I have.
93, 92 figure, but everyone's losing their crap over the fact that the new one doesn't do that. And I'm like, I don't know. I never thought it was a big deal.
That's what made it cool. That's why it's the data figure. The data figure does that. That's what's cool about it. You could take your Geordi figurine and have him work on data, which I have the Geordi, of course, because I love Geordi. But anyway.
Or you could have...
and his visor comes off and his eyes are painted.
Or you can have Beverly mess with his head like last week in the game.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Wow. Yeah, that was some cold. She was all like, oh, hey, Data. Oh, let me just click. Wow.
Okay, so I got a little bone to pick with Paramount Plus. I was shocked and dismayed, in part because, listeners, I have retired my DVD player. Everything I
taps for
do
you?
is on apps. I know. And so I go, and lo and behold, the movies are gone. The only ones that are there is Star Trek '09 and Into Darkness. Every single other movie, gone. You guys, I'm freaking out. I don't want to have to hook up my
Amy,
DVD
it's
player
okay.
again.
They're all on HBO Max. Every last one of them. So if you have HBO Max, you can watch them there.
Wait,
Okay, so
Why?
long before Paramount Plus / CBS All Access was conceived, and or maybe even just before they conceived it as being the central hub of all Star Trek, they had signed away some rights for distribution for the movies here and there. So that's why they were here one day, gone the next. So they've been over on Netflix at one point. They were over on Amazon Prime at one point. They're on HBO Max, I think, for 6 months, and then they're all coming back to Paramount. And at some point, this will stop because they've stopped signing these licensing agreements. But in the meantime, I don't know. Do you own an Apple TV or some sort of streaming, like whether it's a Roku?
yeah, I have the Apple TV
So what we'll
app.
have to do is I'll look, because usually the package of all 10 movies digitally goes on sale for like $19 to $20, and you would own all 20 movies digitally, including the 4K versions. And because that's where I watch them anyway, is that way. So 'cause that's my backup. So in case these streaming wars mess with me, that's where I'm getting my movies.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
moving forward, we do have some listener feedback about this episode. So, if you guys remember, last week we teased that this week we would be doing Taking It From the Top series with Lower Decks, Second Contact. Well, here's the thing. If you've been listening to All Good Things for a while, and you know me, and you know Amy, and you know Christos, one thing you know about me is that my memory is really bad. And last summer, I did an episode with the wonderful Kyle Wagner, which I knew I did an episode with him, but I forgot which one. And evidently, it was Taking It From the Top, and it was Second Contact. So we are going to discuss Second Contact because we knew everybody was looking forward to that this week, and we didn't want to let our listeners down. But we're going to put a spin on it because this is going to be Second Contact with Second Contact. So we're going to have Amy and Christos, who didn't get an opportunity last time to discuss this episode, to talk about it. So this is kind of exciting for everybody all around.
So Mark, was that a drum roll or your Dr. Ta'ana impression?
I love Dr. Donna. She's great. I think she's my spirit animal.
So I saw her, I mean, we can kind of jumping into that, but she was referred to on Twitter the other day as Dr. Perlowski, and I'm like, yes.
Oh my God.
She is a feline Dr. Perlowski turned up on like 13.
Oh. But I don't like Dr.
I love it.
I thought I look at her more as like Bones, but that's just me. Bones with a bev coat. Well, now it's time for All Good World.
From Las Vegas to Boston, USA to Canada and South America, from the United Kingdom to South Africa, from Russia to Australia, the South Pacific and beyond. This is All Good World.
Each episode, we highlight a different location around the globe where this podcast has reached. Today's episode, we'd love to give a special shout out to Yorba Linda, California. Yay! Yay to our listeners in Yorba Linda, California. Woo-hoo. Now, I'm giving them a shout out because we are highlighting the California class this week on All Good Things and talking about the Cerritos and their crew. And so we want to thank our listeners in Yorba Linda.
And fun fact, I have an aunt and an uncle and all their children that were raised in Yorba Linda, California. They lived on Yorba Linda Boulevard.
Isn't that where Nixon's...
It's an All Good World connection.
So if anyone knows any Hatches. That was their last name, Noel and Nola Hatch. They were right there. They actually raised a lot of children because they were a daycare center.
Oh, that is awesome.
Isn't President Nixon from there?
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't get that fun fact, but if he is, I mean, that's cool. There definitely have been worse presidents.
I'm right. I did a report on him like way back in the 8th grade, and I actually still remembered that.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. I did one on the state of Pennsylvania, but I don't really remember much facts on Pennsylvania, sadly.
The most important fact you must remember about Pennsylvania is I was birthed there.
That is a fun fact. No, I thought you were born and raised right out in California.
No, I thought Ohio.
I probably spent the first 9 months of my life in Pennsylvania and then Ohio. So, yeah, Ohio.
Oh.
Got it.
Learning more about Christos and Amy this week. This is a good week on All Good Things.
Yeah. So, listen. We have so many series here on All Good Things. And this taking it from the top with us now discussing Lower Decks yet again. After this, we will only have 2 more, and then we will have completed our very first series on All Good Things.
Yeah,
Yay!
you say that, but really? Because in the next couple of years they're coming out another one.
Oh, yeah. We will definitely add 2. But to actually finish a series, I feel a sense of accomplishment.
Question.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I mean, probably as it predates me. Did you do the animated series? Ooh, I may have to go look up that one.
Yes, we did.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, that was with Patrick.
Well, Amy, so let's see here. You mentioned that you've previously covered the other series premieres, but I'm going to put, because I know Christos is really good at trivia. He's proven that. So we're going to see if we're going to have a trivia moment. I'm going to be the moderator. Which one of you can name all of the season premiere titles? Go.
The series premiere titles? Okay, I'll take a stab at it. Well, you know what? Okay, yeah.
Well, we can
let's just
alternate,
tag team
Christos.
this.
Do you want to work together?
Look at this.
Teamwork makes the dream
Okay.
work.
No cheating.
Well, I'm going to go out of order because I just started getting some of these off my head. So, TNG.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. No, TOS was the cage.
Yes. Yeah. That's what
Well,
we'll
that's
call
the
it,
one
though.
that we
You know what,
covered.
We'll just go with,
Yes.
That counts. You get a point.
An animated series, I am not going to be able to give you that one.
That one was that. Okay, it's not Far Beyond the Stars. It's a. I feel like there's a star in there.
I think I
Oh, dear.
feel like
Mark,
you're
if
right.
you're
Well, let's just
moderator,
take
you're gonna-
We'll come back to that. So
Okay,
TNG
we'll come back to that
is
one.
Encounter at Farpoint.
DS9 is Emissary.
Voyager is Caretaker.
Enterprise is. Don't tell me. Oh, it's the Klingon, and they're. Okay, you gotta help me out.
Broken Bow.
Broken Bow. Yes. Oh, yes. Enterprise. Broken Bow.
Yeah. And then Discovery is
Oh, I got this one, but I can't vote.
Battle. Yeah.
I'm doing the Vulcan. Hello.
The Vulcan. Hello. And Binary Stars.
Yeah. Battle of the Binary Stars.
Battle
yeah.
of the Binary Stars.
Each
Yeah.
get half a point.
And and then let's see. After Discovery was
It's Picard, no? Well, I mean, they had
No,
short
it's
tracks,
Lower
but they're
Decks.
like, no, Picard came on before Lower Decks,
oh, did it?
like in the spring, and then Picard came on at the beginning of the pandemic, and then Lower Decks was
When we
later in
were-
the pandemic.
Oh, it was the summer though, right? It was the summer.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So
Then
Lower
I don't
Decks
think
is...
we've covered Picard because I have us covering after Lower Decks, Picard, and then Prodigy.
Oh, so we still got to do Picard.
Okay.
You were
We just,
close
give up
with
on
the
this.
animated series.
Yeah.
You were very close. So I'll give you a quarter of a point.
Far. Okay. There was a star,
Yes.
right?
Beyond the
No.
farthest star.
Okay. Yes. See, I knew that
You were
one.
there.
I
You
can-
were there.
That's-
Yeah, I
if
was.
the listeners are paying attention, that was she got 0.25 of a point.
Yes, that is correct. That is 1/4. Well done.
We had a math
I'm
moment.
so glad my Amy's math moments are rubbing
Oh my
off.
God.
Yeah. Picard is it? And are we stopping there? I mean, Picard is Remembrance.
Yes. Which we haven't covered.
Coming
Correct.
soon.
Coming soon. And Prodigy.
The listeners are
What's the
yelling
name
at
of
the
the
radio.
Prodigy one? I know.
They're like, these guys suck. They're all over the place today. I don't know the Prodigy one off the top of my head. Lost and
Thank
Found.
you, Christos.
Oh, yep. Good job.
All right. Shall we
Yeah,
discuss
let's jump
this
into the
episode?
discussion. So, did this episode introduce the premise of the show well enough for you guys when you were watching it? Think about the first time you saw this. Did you see it and think, okay, I know what this show is about. I know where it's going.
I would definitely say for me, yes. It was episodic. Not only were we going through introductions with Tendi, but we got a little B plot as well with the zombies and them trying to figure out and a little C plot with Mariner and Boimler on the planet and Boimler getting all, gummed up by the big ant spider thing. So we got the intention that we're going to have a story that has a beginning, middle, and end, and we're going to get some character growth and we're going to get to know our characters. So I felt like we got to know what this show is about.
Yeah. I think it establishes that the show is going to be a little chaotic, and because it's definitely that, and very fast paced and very sharp. You have to, there's going to be jokes that land right in your face, and you learn that there are jokes that are like, you got to listen because it might be a deep reference or whatnot, but they're funny if you catch them. But I think those are things that now, having the visibility of 3 full seasons, yes, they established that. Going back, looking at the first episode again, they did establish a lot of that in the first episode and have continued it on.
It's funny looking at it now after we've had 3 seasons. I'm looking at it with a fresh set of eyes, and I like where the show is now a lot more than at the beginning. I liked it at the beginning, but characters like Mariner that just kept shoving the references down my throat, like every line, and having like the 3 plots happening at the same time. There was just a lot squished into that like half-hour block, and I like that now. Like it's a little less of that. It's still funny, but it's not like. I guess they were doing Rick and Morty, but with Star Trek, and it just didn't really work. And they've sort of found their own voice now by season 3. And I prefer it. Now, I love Rick and Morty because it's that thing, and they do it really well. But it wasn't, I guess, a storytelling that they could just copy and paste. It didn't transfer over well for me.
Well, another thing that I really liked was right at the beginning, we've got Boimler who's doing his fake captain's log, which in hindsight, comes really into play in second season, right? The end of second season, saving the captain by, trying to get his logs, whatever. But we get that this is, all right, we're not the Galaxy class. We're not doing these fun adventures. Nope, we're the second contact. And so Right at the beginning, we already know where are we in the pecking order of Starfleet. And it's actually so refreshing. I really like it. And it has stayed true even through these now 3 seasons. We know where the California class sits in the order of Starfleet.
Right. It not only is it the lower decks of them being the crew's position on the ship, looking at it through the lens of those 4 crew members, but yes, even the California class is like the lower deck of Starfleet. And yeah, definitely. I like, watching the premiere episode now, I am very thankful for the growth that the show has had, because I don't know that I could handle 30 episodes of that first episode. It would get old. I'm glad Mariner's matured some, and I'm glad some of that's moved along.
Let's talk about some of the main characters and their introductions and how you guys feel about it.
Well, I thought it was a really nice and not creative way, because it's sort of, all right, here's the new character, so let's introduce them, and that's what we're doing here on Lower Decks. And Ensign Tendi is the one that is coming on board, and Boimler's going to be her mentor, and so walking around, and again, we get to see what is this Cerritos ship. And I love that is still a part of the character, that we get this ship and we get to see all of her parts and decks.
Yes. And you get to see that the show sets up the Cerritos to be very reminiscent of the Galaxy-class Enterprise. You know that's the Trek we're living in, and that gets established right away. I mean, we've had couple of shows since then, and we've seen the starships change, so we're kind of getting back to that aesthetic of 80s and 90s Trek, and I think that's pretty cool.
So Christos, what you were saying earlier about we're glad that they are continuing their character growth, because this first one was a doozy with the exaggerated, over the top excitement, screaming, everything was just, I'm just like, oh my gosh, Kate, just calm down a little bit. All the screaming, I was just like, oh, that was tough. So, but we get Mariner and Rutherford. He screamed a lot too. This biomedical thing. I mean, it just was it was a lot for me.
Yeah, well, there was a reason I used the word chaotic earlier to describe it, because it felt, when I was watching it earlier today, I was like, wow, this feels a little different than the Lower Decks we're watching now, or that just finished up the season 3. They're just up. It comes out of the gate strong, and it doesn't stop, and they're loud, and Mariner's over the top to the point where you just kind of want to smack her and say, calm down. And everyone's like screaming. To your point, even Rutherford, who is a little bit awkward. He's supposed to be awkward, but he's weird to me in this episode, in that there's so much going on, and he's just kind of carrying on his date, almost ignoring it. And I'm like, you have an alien plague about on your ship, and people are you're having a zombie apocalypse, and you're still playing Get to Know Your Date. Even though it's a comedy and a cartoon and blah, 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 I feel like that was weird, and it felt very out of place for how everything else was going in the episode.
And one thing with Rutherford, I didn't remember that implant was so brand new. And especially now that it's coming into play and important in this story, I was like, oh, I'm glad that I'm watching that again, because he's still trying to adjust. So what he went through just happened.
Yeah, that was... Sorry,
I was just going to say, his implant really did affect his personality, and we get to know him with this new kind of personality. And now when we're in season 3, we get to know what he was like beforehand. And I kind of wish that there was a middle point with his character where he maybe wasn't so squeaky clean, like, yay, guys, like, let's be friends. And, you know, but also not like an evil dickhead. But somewhere in between, I feel like if they were making a live action show, his character would have been sort of in the middle there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of allowances for the fact that it is an animated show, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Rutherford's probably, of the four, probably my least favorite. I feel like they've given him a lot of exposition. They've given him backstory, but I don't know. I still feel like I don't know who this character is. He's, because he's been messed with so much, and old implant and new implant, and memories he has, memories he doesn't have anymore. I have a hard time keeping up with Rutherford, and like, where is he, and where is he today, and how much does he know, and it's kind of hard to follow. So I don't know, and I'm not as interested either.
One character, and this goes into our secondary characters, Captain Carol Freeman. She has taken me on a roller coaster ride, and I'm almost getting nauseous. I want to get off. I want Freeman to land on where she's going to be. Because we're starting off right from episode 1. She's trying to go behind Mariner's back, have someone spy on her and report to her. And then, they work through their issues, and then they're good, mother-daughter. But even her as a captain, like, it's wishy-washy at that last one where she's like, we need to put our best foot forward, as if normal life wasn't our best foot. Like, she should have had faith in her crew. And so when this reporter comes on, I'm talking about the last episode, like, she's trying to not trust her crew. And I'm like, okay, Freeman, you're not trusting Mariner, you're not trusting your crew, but then we all want to be together, and you want to make sure that they're mentally well. And so I've been on a ride with her, and I'm not appreciative of that. Christos.
Preach on, because I love Freeman. She's one of my favorite characters on the show, but she's up and down, left and right. One week she has a substantial growth, and you think, okay, she's being the captain we want her to be. And then the episode, you're referring to episode 9 of season 3, where the reporter comes on, and suddenly she's back to episode 1. She lost all of her growth. It's like they forgot that, Freeman did this and did that. There are episodes where she is Starfleet to the max, and she's up there with Picard and Janeway, and then the next episode she's paranoid and angry and micromanaging and annoying. And it's like, what Freeman are we getting this week?
I feel
Mark?
like Captain Freeman has some serious trust issues. Trust issues with her daughter, trust issues with the crew, probably trust issues with her estranged husband. Are they still together, and are they not together? I don't know. And now we're in season 3 with her, and as you guys have pointed out, like, she's been kind of all over the map personality-wise. And it's, even when they go to that spa, and she's supposed to be having a relaxing time, it ends up turning into a nightmare. This lady needs some help. So I hope she gets the help she needs.
Well, they literally put her in that machine to give her help, and then it didn't work. Apparently,
So true.
So what do you all think?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. If you were sorry, I was going to move on to the next character, but if you have more to say about.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to move on too. Perfect.
Oh, okay,
Go
perfect. So, keeping with our secondary characters, what do we think of Dr. T'Ana?
I like her. She's spicy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I do enjoy her a lot, and she is Perlowski to me, only because I've been doing a season 2 rewatch of TNG, and I'm like right in the middle of it, so I've seen a lot of Perlowski in the last week, and I'm like, yes, it kind of tracks. This is like, if you turn Pulowski up to a 12 and, made her feline, she'd be grumpy. It all has that. All 3 of the characters have that, where her, Pulowski, T'Ana, and McCoy had that same grumpy vibe. And I love how she finishes this first episode after saving everybody and gets the compliments from the captain. Once again, you save us all. So the kind of the trope with Star Trek, this happens all the time. Kind of a little callback there, but she's like, "Oh, great, more paperwork," instead of being like, "Oh, yeah," instead of being like, "Oh, I'm going to write a paper and be famous. I'm going to be, just more to do." That's something Bones would totally say.
Yep.
And you got to think, there's what we have witnessed throughout Star Trek, for the most part, even I would say on Enterprise, is we have seen, the hero ships, the flagship of the entire Federation fleet. So you're getting the creme de la creme, the best of the best for every department. But that can't be every ship. So it's nice to see the Cerritos with people that are more like you and me on the ship. Now, they still hold up the ideals of Starfleet, and they're there to help out the underprivileged and whatnot, and they're there to, be collaborative and appreciate the differences in each other. But they can be kind of grumpy too, and I appreciate that.
Well, and I think you see, this is where I feel like if you take the parallels to the TNG episode Lower Decks, and you see the Lower Decks perception of the command crew of the Enterprise D, and I mean, with the exception of Crusher, all of them are like, "Oh, Riker's a hard ass," and and they're all looked at as being tough and intimidating. And as somebody who's, I guess you would call me mid-career, I've been the newbie at my company where everything is intimidating, and then I've been the one told now that, you kind of got to tone it down, Christos. You intimidate people. People are afraid of you because you got your shit together and you walk around, and people are, and I'm like, when did that happen? I'm just one of them. And Amy is sitting here agreeing with me, so I'm going to let her in.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, to being intimidating, because really the first 5 years of my profession, really up to 10, I felt brand new. I'm starting my 6th year teaching. I feel like this is the first time. And then your experience, and yes, you do. You walk around, you are able to answer questions. You're able to give support because you've been there. And then all of a sudden you're doing it to everyone. And then you become intimidating because you know all the answers and you've done it all. I was you just a year ago.
When did I become that bitch? I'm like, and it's not like that. It's just people are in awe of your competency. And your competency comes from experience and time served and just knowing your stuff. And suddenly you realize one day, it's oh, I'm not the new guy anymore. I have learned a few things. And there's all these new guys coming in who don't know what I know. And I'm always that naive benefit of the doubt person. It's well, if I can do it, you can do it. But it's not. It takes time and mentoring and training.
I got a question for both of you guys that just came up because of this discussion. I want both your honest answers on it. We've all been, at one point in our lives, lower deckers. And now we're at a point where we might not be, and how do you feel at this next stage, not being a lower decker anymore?
I was just having the discussion with one of my teachers, and at my school, the 6 of us teachers, we are all 20 plus years in the profession. And on Tuesday, on voting day, we had professional development. There was no students. And one of our teachers was presenting, and she was talking and saying, I was so nervous because I didn't want you guys to hate me because I'm presenting to you. And I'm like, we have that tendency where just because someone is presenting to you that, you know better. But this was, to be honest, here's my confession. This was the first time I didn't feel that person's better than me. That person knows more than me. I didn't give her that. And it's taken me, this is my 22nd year doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It took me that long to have that confidence.
I know. It's kind of amazing too when you finally realize, I remember, being intimidated about what I do. I was an operations manager, and I ordered equipment for our company, and I just felt like I barely knew what I was doing. And then a couple of years later, I went to a training seminar in Tucson, and I sat in every class expecting to be over my head. And not only did I follow, but I was participating and engaged. I'm like, oh, I guess I did learn this stuff, and I'm there, and I don't have to be so intimidating. And yeah, it's a good feeling, to answer your question, Mark, to kind of, maybe you're not a lower decker anymore, because I mean, at 45, I better not be a lower decker, I guess. I feel like I'm definitely mid-career, as they would say, and it's a good feeling. I recently hosted a conference for a couple hundred people, and that was very. I don't know that I was nervous, but it was definitely a hill to climb. And when I pulled off hosting and emceeing a conference that I planned that lasted 3 days, and I did it and I didn't fail, I felt super confident. It's like, what I'm saying with that is we're always still learning, though. There's always something else that, even if you're a lower decker and you could become the captain one day, well, maybe one day there's the admiral, and then the vice admiral, and then admiral, and Commodore or whatever, you know what I mean? The head of Starfleet, So, I definitely feel like, we see some of those, tying it back to our discussion here, that we do see those parallels to the TNG lower decks, which I think is great because, it literally inspired this show.
Absolutely. I think the hardest part for me, at this, next phase of my life is I'm kind of standing on the shoulders of the people that lifted me up to be in this position, right? And so, all the mentors I've had and all the leaders that have seen something special in me and thought more of me than I did and kept putting more responsibility on my plate, I feel a tremendous amount of responsibility there to not let these people down. And so I hear this a lot from, people talking about mental health issues, where they have this, fear of being like a phony or whatever, because they don't, trust, I guess, themselves. And so, I feel some of that too. It's like, all these people have faith in me that I can get this done. But, sometimes in my head, I'm like, can I get this done? I hope so. And I'm kind of, bringing it back to Star Trek a little bit. I think about, some of our favorite characters like, Riker or like Geordi. These people had, especially in TNG, had tremendous amount of growth. I mean, when we met Geordi, he was a blind man just flying the ship of the Enterprise. And we saw within the first couple of seasons him getting promoted into this next level. We even saw, this was growth from the first episode with Riker, where Picard, such a hard butt, but saying, hey, I want you to do all of this saucer section separation and put it all back together and do all of this like manually. It's like, holy crap. And you saw him and his face like, can I do this? But he didn't want to let Picard down. And so, and this is kind of what I'm thinking about our Star Trek characters, is that, they're lower deckers now, but eventually they're going to end up in that next level. I wonder if we're going to see that growth on the show or not, or what do you guys think? Eventually, do you think we'll get there?
Well, I think I don't want to say it's less speculation than me quoting interviews from Mike McMahon that yes, the idea is going to be that the characters do grow up. This isn't going to be the Simpsons, where year after year Bart isn't starting the fourth grade all over again. It's meant that they will progress, and you're seeing that. I mean, they're moving along. They're a lot more connected to the command crew now. In fact, it is a little weird that 3 years in, someone's due for a promotion. I mean, I guess Boimler got a promotion. It never really made sense to me that after he got transporter doubled, that he got sent back and demoted, which, it didn't make sense that he would be demoted. But yeah, I think they're going to move along, and I would hope see them become lieutenants or, lieutenant junior grades or whatever's next for them.
I've looked at it as been like 1 year, like even like season 3. I feel like now this is like the end of this first year we're seeing them, because there was like 24 episodes of TNG and 24 of the seasons, and so season 1 and season 2 for sure of Lower Decks, I just blop them together of like, okay, this is that same year, and into season 3 it's still kind of that year, I don't know, that's how I look at it. My head canon.
Yeah, I don't think that's how they're counting
Maybe
it. Maybe
not, but that's how I fix it in my head canon.
Yeah, I'm season's a season, season's a year. I mean, it's just we're not getting our 26 episodes a year. We are getting them. We're just getting them through a variety of shows instead of one show.
Oh, that's a good way to look at that.
I mean, you're getting 50 episodes a year, not 26.
Wow, that's true.
Well, of course, during the years that we had overlap between TNG, DS9, Voyager, there were a lot of years that you got 50 episodes a year through the two shows. On
I did. Oh my gosh. Perspective changed. Love it.
Christos' math moments.
Oh no. Watch out.
Let's see here. Any of the other main cast that we left off? We didn't talk about Shax.
Well, yeah, he would be a secondary character.
No, sorry. I mean, I guess I consider the. You're right. Sorry. I guess I do. I guess in my head canon, I think of there being like the eight of them.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's my head canon, I guess.
Okay.
When you say secondary characters, I'm thinking of like, what's the engineer's?
Billups?
The asexual one.
Yeah, Billups.
So I think of Billups as like a secondary character because he's always there. In fact, you see him in the first episode.
Recurring guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's kind of like a Guinan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the hot bananas shooting out of the replicator. That made me laugh.
That hot bananas, wasn't that because we had the a short trek with Zahira, what's her name? And remember Tilly
Zahani, Pukalani, Maukahana.
Makahalani.
Yeah, she's named after she's named after a Hawaiian princess in my head.
Yes. And so I was like, okay, that's a fun Discovery reference, or actually Short Treks reference.
Was it? Because she ordered Spumoni ice cream. She was into Spumoni ice cream.
I know, but the fact that it was spitting out, which is a reference to the animated series. So, yeah, of the food processor. Oh, my gosh. What's it called?
Replicator.
Yeah, the replicator spitting food out. That's animated, which then Short Treks did, and now we see again here.
On Star Trek, Amy.
Yeah.
Well, so one of these Easter eggs was that Mariner used the Argo-type ground vehicle that we saw in Nemesis, and I just so happened to be listening to another podcast, Trek Ranks, which I've been on with Miss Amy.
Yeah.
And they were literally ripping on Nemesis, some of the Nemesis things that were ridiculous, and the fact that there would be basically a dune buggy from today's time running around in the 24th century was a ridiculous distraction from Nemesis. Like it kind of takes away from the movie.
How do you guys feel about it?
About what?
Do you guys feel like it was like that? The ground vehicle was ridiculous, or no?
I think even in this episode, so we could keep it with this episode too, that it would be weird that Starfleet would be using these vehicles still. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Like that there wouldn't be something with like a, that hovers or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or that has a defense, shield, or to be completely open like that is not good tactically. So no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
However, I am just going to say, because, I love Nemesis, that having the Argo ground vehicle, I have to prioritize the stupid things in this movie. And the stupid thing in this act is Worf being afraid. I absolutely hate that part. And like when Data's hand grabs his arm and he freaks out as if he were really scared, absolutely annoys me. And so when I see that scene, I get annoyed with Worf. And so I totally ignore that the Argo is stupid as well. Yeah.
That is the director's choice, I think, on that, not knowing our characters and not knowing the show. Yeah. But like I said, I think the whole thing was like completely unnecessary, and it was just done to like further make it more an action movie, and try to give it that suspense. But if you would have done it utilizing more believable technology, I think that would have been fine. And of course, yes, the Worf not being in character. And the other thing that's not right, Worf missing all those people. He's firing from the back of that dune buggy, and he's missing like every other shot. He's like, he's not a stormtrooper. He's Worf.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes. Okay. You know what? This might be the first time on air that I have said something 100% negative about Nemesis.
It's just like, it's not critical in the sense that it's just saying like, it's not like overall taking away the main plot of Nemesis, but there are production choices that were made that, and honestly, Amy, I think Nemesis would be a better movie if some of these other areas were not predominantly in our face. The other one, by the way, not to make it a Nemesis podcast, was and I completely agreed. Somebody else pointed out that there was the whole scene where Riker gets into the physical fight with the guy from the Riemann guy.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid and unnecessary. It's just done to make it more Rambo-ish. And by the way, someone pointed out that they're on deck 29 when there was only 24 decks on the Enterprise E, and then they go down a Jeffries tube where there's a big drop. So where are they falling to? Because they're already at the bottom of the ship. So
I literally fast forward every single time that scene comes on.
I have to.
The veil of Nemesis is getting lifted.
Out to you guys. Yes. I'm looking at my watch right now, and it's been at least 5 minutes that the three of us have all been in agreement on one subject. So this is great.
Wow. And it's over Nemesis. Who would have thunk?
And I've gotten Amy to like drop the shields and be a little more transparent about Nemesis. But like I said, it doesn't mean that there's not good things about it, but it's the things that, like, if you were zhuzhing up Nemesis, these are the things I would fix. And they're all like, it's not the story stuff. It's like of the secondary stuff.
And to your point, it's because of that stupid director. Baird knew nothing of Star Trek. And if he had, those things would have been fixed. And then, oh my gosh, the movie would have been perfection.
And then, yeah. Because that battle that they have in the Nebula is like my favorite.
We're getting the movie we deserve. Yeah. It's coming soon, and it's going to be 10 episodes. And maybe we'll get another movie.
Amy, I got a job for you, Amy. There's we met this guy at STLV, Jack. He has a podcast called Star Trek Zhuzhurations, and they talk about things like this and be like, well, what would you do to zhuzh it up and fix it? How would you fix it? Like, what's wrong with it, and what would you do to fix it? We gotta set up that Nemesis episode.
Yes, we could zhuzh up Nemesis. We're on a start. Oh my gosh.
I gotta listen to this
one. Just save
Sounds like a great podcast.
Yeah.
Be a very special episode of What's the T-Bev or something if we don't get on his show.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. One thing that I just have to bring up. What is the last word spoken of this episode? Oh, why, yes. It is about Deanna Troi. Those are
And
the
her jumpsuit.
last words of this episode. Perfection. Need mic drop. Say no more.
You were
Scene
sold.
end. Love it. Yep, sold.
She was like, I'm in. Well, and she would show face before the end of the season, too. So there you go.
Yep.
Yes. We see Mariner. She talks about her Chadish. Is that right in the way of saying that?
Chadish.
Chadish. Which is from which is what Picard was for. No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was Picard. And so we get that. We see all kinds of like bat lifts and random things like that too as well. All these just little Easter eggs.
And the Romulan whiskey that was blue and not green, but the thing is they said that on the show, like, yeah, we know it's blue, and you'd think it would be green. So they were in on the joke, and that was funny. I like that.
Absolutely. Yep.
I don't know. How many people do you know that drink whiskey that's the color of your blood?
Klingon blood wine.
I mean, we don't go draw. We don't. How much red stuff do we drink?
Wine.
Well, that's not red. That's like dark purple.
Well, but so is our blood.
Yeah, like I mean, it depends. Unless you're drinking fruit punch, that's about it. You know, it's usually when it's like
For
you're
some
drinking
people,
red. But
blood
you
is
got-
wine. Oh my god, we're done with the Halloween topics. Wait, that was the last episode. What are we doing?
It's reminding me that
Yeah.
I haven't watched Interview with the Vampire yet. I need to watch that series.
Girl, woo, whew. Need a fan. Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh my
pretty
goodness.
homoerotic from what I've heard.
Oh my goodness.
Is it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's the latest take on, of course, Anne Rice Interview with the Vampire. It's on the A&E app, and I was just
Okay.
waiting for it to finish and hoping that it was just like going to drop into iTunes or something like that and get it in there. But I may have to subscribe to the A&E Plus or whatever the hell they
I
call
need
it.
to take a shower after I watch the
But
first
yes.
episode. But anyway, woof.
Goodness.
Oh dear.
Moving on.
Okay.
Do we have any assimilations and regenerations for this episode? As we remember, assimilations and regenerations are this series' ups and downs, where we talk about things that we liked and disliked. Assimilations are positive, and regenerations are the negative.
Well, my assimilation, and we really do need to see more, was the scene of the view of the lower decks and as the ship was
Yeah.
in warp. And we're seeing it, from the backside. I loved it. And it took me back to the brand new set that was built for season 2 of Next Generation 10 Forward. And part of the reason why we had 10 Forward was so that we could see warp in a different perspective. That was the whole point of building that set for season 2 of TNG. And so now we get this brand new set that is drawn where we get to see from a new perspective. And okay, not new. I know we've seen it before, but the lower decks perspective of warp. I love it.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty fantastic. Yeah, I never thought about that for when they made that for season 2, and it was literally, they kind of made it more of that cruise shippy type of feel because it's like that sweet spot on the ship where you get to see everything. But why wouldn't you be maximizing that view? And you see that in a couple of episodes where they jump to warp, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty odd.
So
I love that.
I'm going to throw in a regeneration for this week's episode. And I don't think I'm the only one that wants to regenerate this one. This is sleeping in the hallways? What? No, they wouldn't do that. I can't believe the Federation would do that. They have so much space on that darn ship. Even on lower decks on, on TNG, like, yeah, they shared quarters, but it wasn't like a hallway. Like, I don't know. That always takes me out of it, that when they start walking down the hallway, I'm like, what? And the shared, like, communal showers. Although, I don't know, not a bad idea. I might assimilate the communal showers. Never mind.
But I mean, think about other sci-fi shows. What was the one I was thinking of? Read my mind, guys.
BSG.
Yes, thank you. BSG. We see that, and they, close like their little train curtain, and like that's supposed to be.
You see that wet towel.
Oh, BSG.
Over it.
Yes.
Over certain.
So it
over
seems
certain
to be common amongst lower deckers, amongst sci-fi, is this communal sleeping.
Well, we see it a little bit in Star Trek 6 when they're in the bunks and they get hit and people are falling off the bunks, and it's like, well, wait a minute, we're at red alert, people. Why are you still in your bunk? But then secondly, that's a Constitution class vessel, and Sean pointed out on the What's the TBAB this week that the California class is like almost like 3/4 the size of the Galaxy class, which is huge. So it does not track that you'd have this kind of close quarters type situation going on. It's obviously done to further the show a little bit. I mean, we do even see in Strange New Worlds, Uhura sharing a room and kind of having her own bunk that she's in, but they're sharing a room that has 4 bunks in it. They're not in a hall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With just literally one pull-out thing for what little personal items are allowed. So, trivia. What is the first Star Trek episode to use a censored profanity word? Censored, or is it a first? Because I feel like...
It is the first.
It is
Censored.
the first, because we get the first profanity words in Discovery.
Yes.
But they're not censored.
Right. This is the first one that is bleeped out. From Dr. Ta'ana.
Ta'ana, of course.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to say it actually makes it more funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Well, it's more funny because of what happened in Discovery and the uproar that the community had over the swear word that Tilly used. I remember I was podcasting at the time, and oh my goodness, it was talking about the entire season. I still can't believe Star Trek used a swear word. So if you consider that into the context of why this bleep was there, absolutely makes it more funny. You're correct.
Yeah, but I don't even feel like it's. I don't feel like it's funnier because of Discovery at all. I just feel like the bleep makes it funny. And kind of ridiculous, but it's sad that people had such a visceral reaction to Tilly swearing. It wasn't even that bad, and then she didn't really swear again, and they haven't really had much cussing since. I don't even know, has Reno sworn? But I don't know. I feel like it just makes the characters a little bit more real. I don't think they should be cussing all the time, but there should be some sailor language. They're all sailors.
Yeah, I mean, I get that there are people who like to watch Star Trek with their kids and whatnot, and they're trying to be. It depends on how it tracks. I mean, I grew up watching TNG at 10 years old, so if they would have been cussing, that probably would not have gone well. But I also think society just keeps on evolving anyway, and it's not nearly the big deal that it used to be. People need to find more important things to be upset about.
Oh, there again, we're all in agreement.
Everyone's just nodding their heads.
Pretty much.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So final thoughts on our Lower Deck series premiere, Amy.
Well, I think as a series premiere, this did a very good job. We definitely got to know the characters. We got to know the characters in their professional jobs and how they interact with their missions and how they interact with each other. We got to know the ship, Cetacean Ops was mentioned, and the holodeck. That was really fun. We got to definitely feel the comedic aspect of it. Again, for me, it was pretty harsh, but it's mellowed or I've gotten used to it. So getting that Star Trek feel, I think, was good. I like the premise, and I think it did a good job in letting us know what we can expect, and I think it stayed true for the most part.
Awesome. Mark, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, apologize to the people that already listened to episode 85, was it? That are having to re-listen again. They're like, really? Really? Again? Or this episode? We already watched this one. But so...
I feel like we gave them a completely different episode this time. They've even got a partial Nemesis review.
Exactly. But no, it's always fun going to Lower Decks. It's never a bummer. It's always fun. So on that level, I enjoyed it. So it was good discussion with you guys. So thanks.
Christos, what about your final thoughts?
I enjoy it. It's a great series premiere. To your point earlier, it is. Well, we talked about being chaotic and definitely a little bit more high-strung than some of the later episodes that we've had from Lower Decks, but I think it definitely set us up for what we were going to get, and so for that, it's a very strong premiere. And as far as premieres go, it's an enjoyable episode that we, 3 years later, don't look back at and be like, oh, God, that hasn't aged well. So overall, it was a very strong premiere, and I enjoy it. Well, listeners, next week we'll be back with our first Hostess Choice episode, or should I say Hostess with the Mostest Choice?
There you go.
I just watched that movie. Do you know what movie that is?
No, tell me.
Call Me Madam, starring Ethel Merman.
Oh my goodness.
It's the movie that the song, well, it's a Broadway show that became a movie, and that's where the song I'm the hostess with the mostest on the ball comes from. Yes. I'm an old Broadway queen. So we're going to get down to, I guess we'll call it my all-time favorite Star Trek episode, which is The Next Generation's The Chase from Season 6. So listeners, you have a week to warm up.
That's exciting.
Get that Paramount Plus out.
Yes. Yes, I'm very excited to talk about The Chase. It is a very good episode.
There's about a million reasons why it's my favorite, so I'm looking forward to discussing it with you all.
Now, this is just for me. I don't know if you want to include it or not, but what is that episode about? Because I that's one of the ones where the title doesn't jump out at me immediately.
Oh, no. Well, it definitely describes the episode great. It's basically a scavenger hunt, Indiana Jones kind of episode where Picard's archaeology teacher shows up gives him a gift and wants him to come on an expedition with him. And Picard turns it down. And then he's after he leaves the Enterprise, is murdered. And Picard and company pick up the investigation and go on the chase for what he was trying to discover. And there's stiff competition from the Cardassians and the Klingons and the Romulans. Mm-hmm. And it becomes like a race.
And the shapeshifters appear in that one.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Salomon James? The lady who would be... The actress who would go on to portray the Founder also portrays an alien of a similar
pretty much the exact same
in this episode.
It's a Founder,
but not the Founders. Yeah,
go watch it. Go watch it. It's good Trek, and I'm excited to talk about it. Like I said,
it's like a super high philosophical episode.
Yes. It's definitely it's way up there, and it's got. Yeah, well, I don't want to say too much about it. We'll talk about it. I think we've hyped it up enough for the listeners. And we'll,
think I'm leaving that in?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I'll gush all over it next week.
Well, We would love to hear what you thought of today's episode and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. You can also tweet your thoughts at AllGoodPod. We'd love for you to reach out. We love the interaction. Also, guys, if you guys have any ideas for a future series or episodes we should include in our series, let us know, and we will check them out. We definitely love hearing from all of you. And our listeners are the smartest people on the interwebs, and so we're constantly getting some really cool feedback and ideas from you guys, so appreciate it. You can follow the network on Twitter and Instagram at BQN Podcast, and we've also partnered with our friends at the Fandom Podcast Network. You can find us by searching their master feed. So, Amy, where can people find you when you are not smuggling farm equipment behind the backs of the Federation to provide to people, to help save them before the Federation has a chance to?
Well, when I'm not doing that, you can find me here on the network where I'm co-hosting Union Federation, which is talking about the Orville and the new Trek that's coming out. I am also co-hosting Galaxy Class, which of course talks about the next generation. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, and of course, and the BQN Collective on Facebook. And I do want to just go back to the chase when we were talking about such a high concept. And I was like, I think that's a Joe Menosky episode. And I did look it up. It is a story written by Ronald D. Moore and Joe Menosky. So that makes sense why it's a high concept.
We should just do a Joe Menosky series.
Awesome.
Oh, I've thought about it. I've wanted to do that on Galaxy Class for a long time. Okay,
You're the boss over there. You're the...
And he does tons of stuff on Voyager and Deep Space Nine too.
Series.
So
Why not?
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
in.
would love that.
Done.
Okay, doing it. Done.
Yeah, we're done.
Wow.
We
Okay.
can do whatever we want here.
Heck yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
things.
It's all good things.
So, Christos, where can people find you when you're playing Hot Banana?
That's later. You can find me in the BQN Collective as well. And you can find me over on What's the Tea, Bev, where I host different LGBTQIA plus and allies onto the show to talk about their Star Trek fandom. And you can get me at Greek Geek SD on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, and you cover like the news and the speculation and all of that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why
We get it all. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
My crazy speculation changes by the week, but I had some good ones this week, though.
I know from the comics. I know.
I know. You should have seen me about bust my eyeballs out when I turned that comic to the last page. Listeners, if you want to know what I'm referring to, Episode 7 of What's the Tea, Bev on YouTube or wherever you get your BQN podcasts. And Mark, where can people find you when you're not strapping a rabid Amy down to the medical bio bed?
It's only because I love her. That's all. I'm trying to help here. And she's spitting out that black syrup or whatever it is. I have no idea, but I got you, Amy. I got you.
Thank you.
When I'm not saving Amy, you can find me on the BQN Collective as well. You can also find me on Twitter at MarkWhite207. You can find me if you become a patron of the network on Patreon, where I have a show called It's Green, and coming up this weekend I'm recording with History with the Szilagyi's own Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi, and I'm very excited. She's going to be giving me the real history, the real truth, the real breakdown on Thanksgiving. So this is going to be very timely, and hopefully give some people something to listen to over the holiday.
I will have to be listening to that. I love History with the Szilagyi's. I'm so glad it's back on.
Well, please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or where you ever get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and written review. that helps others to find the show.
At this time, we would like to thank our associate producers, Mahendran Radhakrishnan and Tim Cooper. A special thanks to Graham Kelly for our opening and closing music.
If you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Join the Hive to enjoy It's Green, Amy's Math Moments, and other network perks. With a monthly subscription of $5 or more, you can keep all of our meetings. You can join all of our meetings on the Hive Mind the second Saturday of each month. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and watch your messages.
Hey, and listeners, just to let you guys know, all of those meetings we are now releasing onto the streaming platforms where you find this podcast. So just check out the Hive Mind from BQN.
And a little tease for the next Amy's Math Moments. It's going to be Voyager themed.
Woohoo!
What?
Ooh, look at you branching out.
I know.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
Thank you for listening.
We hope you'll join us as we search out
All good things.